Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Growing Leadership blog. This is blog number 14 today, and we're talking about reproducing leaders. This is something I see that entrepreneurs, especially solo entrepreneurs, are really bad at. They have no plan to be able to build a team. They have no plan to be able to bring somebody alongside them and grow their company. Ultimately, the concept is they never intend to pass this off, their business off to anybody, which means there is no way for them to outgrow their leadership position or their leadership within that company. See, when you're reproducing leaders, one of the things you got to look at is you're going to take people in your organization, in your team, and grow them to be able to do your job as a leader. I reflect back to my time in the military when I was a second lieutenant. From day one, when I went in, I had grown up watching shows on TV, and I'm really dating myself now, but I watched things like Combat and Rat Patrol and 12 O'Clock High. And what we knew is that in those World War II movies is that the leaders always got killed. And that doesn't say well. That was the theme, was that the leaders would die, and then the junior leadership would have to step up to the challenge and solve the problem in that episode. And when I went in the military, I looked at that as a calling for me to be able to make sure everybody in my organization could step up a level and do the job of the person above them. Everybody in my platoon needed to be able to do the job of the person above them. That way, when things happened, somebody could step up, and somebody would step up and take charge and continue to run the organization. And I saw that happen many times because we didn't go into action and get lost, but I got called to a meeting. Well, when I got called to a meeting, the work didn't stop. Platoon sergeant stepped up and continued. When the platoon sergeant and a platoon leader got called up to a meeting or taken out to an event, the senior tank commander stepped up, and that then meant the gunners and the loaders and the drivers in these vehicles stepped up to the next level, and operations continued to operate. That happened the same when I was the company commander. The first sergeant and I were pulled out. The company continued to operate with the lieutenants and platoon sergeants stepping up to the plate. And this is when you go into the business. And this is one of the things I look for in a business when I'm coaching with them, is what is the progress plan to grow the people in that organization to the next level. Now, here are some. I love John's book. I've been reading The Leader's Greatest Return. There's a chapter in there called about reproducing leaders. And he says, how can you measure how well people are growing themselves out of their job? Ask the following questions about each of the leaders in that organization. Number one, are there more followers than leaders on this person's team? Is this leader doing the exact same job year after year? Is this leader working long hours? Is this leader carrying the load by themselves? And what that tells me is that leader in that organization, in that company, is not trying to promote people in that organization to grow up, not grow up to their level, to be able to grow or raise their leadership lid to their level so that they can all share in the jobs. And see what happens if a leader doesn't do that, the leader never goes any higher. John talks about this in the leadership lid, is that on a scale of 1 to 10, if your leadership is a 4 or 5, then the people under you in your organizations will be a 2 or a 3. They will never outpace you. So if you're staying a 5, and if your intention is to stay a 5, then you will only attract 4s and below. And your organization will only have 4s and below. And the end result is your organization will remain a 4 and below. Even though you're a 5, your organization stays a 4 and below. And then it's not until you start growing, then you start bringing everybody up a level underneath you. All right. So that's my questions. Yeah. If the answer is yes to any of those questions, then your leaders are not growing themselves out of a job. I like that. That's the object of it. Even a solo entrepreneur, grow yourself out of a job. This was the Growing Leadership blog, number 14 today. So come back tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Out here.